just wanna make you laugh. I just wanna see that smile. Baby, we're only here for a little while. I just wanna hold you till we fall asleep. I want love, I want us, I want you, I want me, I want peace.
Hey everyone, happy Friday. Welcome back to my favorite part of the day, morning coffee. Before we get into today's show, just a bit of housekeeping news. Next week, we'll be opening up registration for the second installment of the Clarity Academy. Essentially, this is a 12-week course designed to help you figure out who you really are and what you really want out of this life. The course will start early April, and it's designed to be like kind of a deep dive into your own life and then to help you push the fast forward button on your own personal growth and development. And so if that's something you're interested in, I'd love to hear from you, and we can certainly chat about whether the course is a good fit for you or not. The easiest way to connect with me is to slip into my DMs at Rick Alexander or at Lionheart Radio on Instagram. So for those of you that have been listening to the show for a while, you know that most of this content is really designed to observe human nature and through that observation, improve the quality of the experience. Well, maybe you don't know it, but you do now. So for the next few shows or so, I'm going to make some observations about life that are true. And to be honest, these are things that we all know are true. Yet what I keep finding is that we ignore the obvious, not because we don't care, but because we take cliches and any kind of given truth for granted. Like maybe we just hear it too much. I don't know. But they're so often propagated that they tend to lose their potency within our mind. And so in order to integrate information into your life, you really do have to figure out a way to give that information some kind of authority within your mind or within your being. Like it's got to matter to you. Like it can't be something that you just know, but instead something that you can conceptualize so that you can actually allow it to change your life. In order to do that, you have to break it down and then legitimately think about the different ways that it might apply to your life. Truthfully, I'm not sure how long the series will go on, but I've got about 5 of these shows in the hopper and may end up doing this type of episode a little bit more, as there are literally endless nuggets of wisdom that we all know, but seem to breeze by on a daily basis. The first obvious truth that we all know, and this one that I talk about often, is the fact that all you're really promised in this life is the present moment. The increase in your quality of life that you get by living in the moment, however, cannot be overestimated. Which is why I bring it up so much. Because we use our smartphones, the internet, thoughts of the future or the past, and a host of other things that are designed to pacify us from the present moment. Often we subconsciously pacify ourselves from the moment because we hit some point of resistance in our thoughts. And so I want to talk about a couple of the ways that I've caught myself using pacifiers in my own life. One of those was a marathon. I ran a marathon back in Australia in December, and I remember I wasn't in shape for it, first of all. I had run that 250 back in November, took a long break, ran this marathon in Australia, and I remember about 15 miles in, I was hurting bad. And so I started thinking about how I'm going to train really hard, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to run another marathon, and I'm going to be ready. And what I realized is like, I still had 11 miles to go, but I was letting myself off the hook with thoughts of the future by telling myself how good I was going to do and how I was going to be prepared. And sometimes, I forget it, which is why I say a lot, but this is your life and it's happening right now. Like there's nowhere to go. There is no avoidance. Like I still had 11 miles to go. There's some resistance there. And so I wanted to pacify myself. I was hurting. And so I thought maybe I'll let myself take it easy. I'll slow down a little bit. But the truth is like the hardest thing for us to do in our lives is to realize that it's tough right now to show up in the best possible way that we can right now. This became clear again when I started journaling regularly. In the mornings while I was writing, if I reached a point that forced me to think about something a little deeper, I would instantly and unknowingly pick up my phone and start scrolling through Instagram. And this is only one of the many ways that we avoid the moment. But in 2019, there's no shortage of pacifiers. If I were you, I would really think about whenever you catch yourself scrolling, try to go back to your thought right before that. A lot of times what you'll find is you were thinking about something that's a little difficult or you couldn't really think through, or maybe there's some anxiety around and so you picked up your phone. Or maybe you were doing something that caused that kind of resistance. But just take note of why you're doing what you're doing. A lot of times we kind of do it automatically. It's like a coping mechanism so that we don't have to deal with reality. But what's interesting is that when you decide to become entrenched in the moment of any like one thing, you start rescuing all of your time back. So to think about this, think about when you were younger and the days seemed to last forever and ever. Like you'd play outside on summer nights. It'd be hours before your parents turned on the porch light, signaling it was time to come in. I'm sure that even if that wasn't your exact situation, you certainly had some kind of version of that. But anyway, I think most of us remember endless summer nights playing when we were kids. But contrast that with your adult life. How many times have Monday through Friday blended together on us? How many times have you looked back at your life and wondered where the time went? The thing is, we stare at the clock while we work waiting for our shift to end. We spend Monday through Friday wishing it was Saturday. We sit in traffic wishing we could just get there already. And in truth, it probably all starts when we're in school and can't wait to graduate. We are essentially inoculated into the waiting game. The reality here is that we all spend our life wishing our time away and then look back and we wonder where all the time went. But the truth is that you got what you wanted and it passed without notice. And I think at some point we have to come to the realization that our thinking and our language around time and space are a little bit misguided. Like we talk about spending our time, but is it really ours to spend? I don't think so. I think it's ours to enjoy should we choose to focus on the here and now. But one thing that's for sure, it's basically lunacy to wish it away and then wish you had more of it. You have more time than you are utilizing. Your life is not lacking time. Your life is lacking activities that make you lose track of time. At least that's what I found in my own life. I love y'all. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you Monday on Morning Coffee.